Welcome to Love from Leisha for an extra dose of love in your day. Click subscribe and the bell to be notified when new videos go live weekly. Today we'll be talking about 3 problems with emotions. Emotions, complicated, complex creatures, aren't they? And there are 3 problems with them. They are bad, they are scary, and they're not useful. And none of that is true. Those are all fallacies that we grow up believing, that we tell ourselves, that other people tell us. At times they can be overwhelming, and so people will push them down, push them away. Yes, at times they can feel not useful. You're in the middle of a party and all of a sudden you start thinking about your loved one who's not well and you're worried about them and, oh, this is not coming at a good time. How many times have we been told as we were growing up, don't cry, don't be a baby? That sends the message that there's something wrong with what we're feeling, that we should push it away. Growing up, sometimes there's guilt imposed, where if you're crying, what are you feeling sorry for yourself about? I'll give you something to feel sorry about. Why are you crying? You should be grateful for all the things that you have. There's that guilt and that heaviness and that weight and inconvenience and negativity. There's a lack of being embraced for how we're feeling. There's a lack of validation. So of course, emotions coming up can be seen as inconvenient, problematic, something to push down. Just push it hard, and if it comes and it bubbles up again, push it down some more, move it away. But here's the tricky thing with emotions. They are stubborn creatures. They don't go away so easily. Some emotions are great. There's excitement and joy, and sometimes those can come at a not so great time where we're at a funeral and we're thinking about something funny and the emotion of silliness or mischievousness comes up. How many times are you maybe sitting during a lecture or a class and you think of something that, kind of brings a smile at an inappropriate time? So there are those emotions. Most of the time, though, it's something like anger or sadness that is considered something to be moved aside, pushed down. Emotions, as I mentioned, they are tricky little creatures. So they will bubble up when you are maybe in the middle of a conversation. They will seep into other situations. Those emotions, they stay with us. Even if we can rationalize and talk ourselves out of it and think we've pushed them away, push them down, they will still bubble up in our energy. We will feel them, and they will come out in conversations, in relationships, in other circumstances that don't serve us well. We can deny that we have feelings all that we want and rationalize it and talk ourselves out of situations. At the same time, we are still human beings and we have feelings. Those feelings need to be acknowledged and accepted for what they are. Dr. Susan David talks about emotional agility. It is recognizing that those emotions are there, to notice, I am feeling sad, or I am noticing sadness. And in noticing those emotions and saying, this is here right now, we can then feel it and experience it. Emotions are meant to be moved through like a tunnel instead of pushed down and pushed like a big black hole. When we move through those feelings, those emotions, then we're able to move past it into something else. We free up the energy that is being hijacked by the emotions, and certain things will trigger the emotions that we have left unresolved and unacknowledged, unrecognized. That actually does a disservice to us because we are going through life and this comes up and we have to then push it back down again. It's almost like a dam. It's good, it's solid, it's keeping back what we don't want to get through, but then all of a sudden there's a little crack or a hole and some of that seeps through. So we have to patch that hole. We have to stop what we're doing to maintain that hole, to block it, to keep what's trying to come through back. That is a lot of time and energy maintaining that dam of emotion. Imagine if we tore that dam down and we let the emotion, that water, just flow through and be in its natural state. We don't need to be feeling all of our feelings all over the place. Of course, there's a right time and a right place. At the same time, it's important to make that time to recognize what we're experiencing, name it, and then just be with that feeling. There's a feeling of anger coming up. There's a feeling of sadness. I'm noticing sadness. Saying I'm sad, I'm angry, that can be too close of a connection. So when we say I'm noticing a feeling of anger, I'm noticing a feeling of sadness. That gives us enough separation to then have that emotional agility to address it and work through it. A personal example is when I found out that my children would not be returning to school due to being closed for the remainder of the year because of COVID-19. I was overwhelmed. Earlier on in the year, I thought this would just be temporary and maybe they'd be able to go to school for the last month or two, or at least the last few weeks. And finding out that that wasn't going to happen, that I wasn't going to have that personal time during the day to get things done, to have that time to focus on my things and have that space, it was disappointing. As much as I love my children, there's also a need for that personal time and that space. I was overwhelmed and I could feel all of this energy rising up in me. And I was home, I was with the kids and my husband, and I just kind of pushed it back down again, tried to ignore it, and I could feel that energy kept coming up. So with that, I said, it's taking a lot to maintain this dam. It's taking a lot to keep these emotions in check. So I said to my family, I'm gonna go take a walk. And I went for a walk. And then I sat in a remote little residential area, just sat on the curb, and I let myself feel that disappointment. And the feelings, as soon as I surrendered to them, they just came flooding through me. And I just let myself be with them. Just let them be present and feel them and not try to direct or talk myself out of them or reason my way through them. I just let those feelings be there, that heaviness in my chest, that weight on my shoulders. And then there were tears. And I just cried as a way of releasing all of that tension and that emotion. Once I let all of that move through me, I felt so much better. Nothing had changed except the fact that I had let myself be with that emotion. And as soon as that emotion had passed, I had greater clarity. I had access to thinking about accepting the situation and what that could look like, how I could make that work for me, what support I needed for myself and for my family. And it wasn't about this heaviness and this big weight on my shoulders because I had moved through that. I had let that go. And so as soon as we moved through that tunnel to come out on the other side, we have access to so much more, to positivity, to curiosity about, oh, what could be good about this? What could be the upsides? What could be silver linings in this situation? What resources do I have? And also an ability to be patient with knowing it's going to take time to adjust to this new situation, as well as compassion for myself in knowing this isn't easy and I just need to be with it and I have what it takes to figure out a way, and compassion for my children too, who were going to be disappointed about not going back to school and seeing their friends. So really letting those floodgates down and being with that emotion, it just makes so much more possible. And it opens up this energy that you can use so much more productively and effectively. So I encourage you, the next time that you're noticing feelings coming up and you feel yourself pushing them down or pushing them aside, take note. That is important feedback from your body telling you there's something going on. There's something here for you to work through. And if you ignore it, it's going to keep bubbling up and it could get even bigger, like a dam that's starting to get holes in it and you have to patch it up. Think about making time to let that dam go, let that water flow through so that you can then be free of that emotion and not have it holding you back and keeping you from being your best self. Don't let it compromise your quality of life. You deserve better. Others deserve more from you. You deserve to give yourself the best parts of yourself and give yourself access to that without it being hindered by pent-up emotions that you aren't letting yourself feel into and be with. I'd love to hear from you in the comments about what emotions you might be bottling up and what you are ready to let yourself feel into more for the sake of being liberated and being able to move through them. If you like this video, please click like, share, subscribe, click the bell to be notified of upcoming episodes. And for more about me, my website is CoachLisha.com. Until next time, with more love from Lisha. Bye!